How are you feeling?
Numb. Like someone's just ripped my heart out. I gave everything to be with him.
Charlotte and Johan whipped this around in episode 11, and honestly, the theme is expect the unexpected. I'm trying not to spoil it for you in this intro, so let's just jump right into it. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We're here to discuss Charlotte and Johan in the latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé UK. Last time we checked in with this couple, Charlotte was waiting at the courthouse. Johan was beyond late. It looks like he's gonna be a no-show. Her mom is pissed. She's in this lace gown. It is hot as hell in DR. And it just does not look good. So we finally get the continuation of that story. Before we jump in, as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much. So episode 11, we go back to the courthouse. She's still waiting outside. I don't know why she's not in the AC. She's pissed because this is a huge day for her. Obviously, it's her wedding. She's been waiting for this forever. But then she has her mommy yapping on the side, being like, I can't believe that he's late. He can't get one thing right. And I'm like, I understand why Charlotte is pissed, because obviously she loves this guy and he's late on their wedding day. But I almost get the feeling that the mom would have been complaining regardless. She doesn't want to like Johan as is. Doesn't really believe in this union. So I don't know. I feel like her comments have a little extra oomph behind them. But you guys, they pan to the street and all of a sudden we see Johan walk by. And when I tell you that my mouth dropped, I was like, they really had us thinking that you weren't going to show, Johan. So he pulls up and he's already, giving his reason. It sounds like, at first it sounded like he witnessed an accident, but it turns out that he had car issues. Get a word out because Charlotte is like, go inside, check in with them. Like, make sure we didn't miss our appointment. Like, go. And she's not listening, and I get it. She's, tense. She's been waiting in the heat. It's their wedding day. But I feel like I would want to know the reason. It doesn't have to be a fight, but I would want to know. But she's like, talk to the people in charge. Talk to them. And I know that it's a cultural difference. I know that she's very direct. And no one wants to be kept waiting, but I just didn't appreciate the way she and her mom were like talking at him. She stops talking to him that way when she spots his grandmother and his mother and the rest of his family. And so again, he's trying to explain the car issues. They were all together, and her mom is like, that's an excuse. And I love that he was like, excuse me, that's not an excuse. That's literally what happened. And with the language barrier, he's trying to explain it. And I just don't like this tag team situation. Like, let him and Charlotte duke it out, I honestly would have been more upset if he showed up like nothing happened. He seemed really apologetic. Also, I'm more inclined to believe that there were some serious car issues because he came with all of his family. I've heard some stories about families corroborating stories. Grandmas are never with it. I don't believe that his grandmother would have him be late to his wedding. I just don't believe that. So that's his one saving grace at this point. So they proceed into the courthouse, and the mom has the most sour face. She's like, I would want better for my daughter. And I get it. I get that you would want a lavish wedding. This is your princess. However, this is I think that it's nice for what it is. It's a common civil union. Your daughter could have had a nicer wedding. However, she pushed it by like 5 months. So this is the best that they could do, and you will deal. But yeah, they're in the room and they have their ceremony, and you can see that Charlotte softens up a bit because she sees that Johan starts crying, and seeing him all worked up like that, she's like, wow, he must really love me. Like nothing else matters. And yeah, boom, they're married. Can you believe? And you guys, when they teased this, I told you guys, I was like, I don't think that he would be a no-show and they would just flat out tell us. Usually that's something that they would, keep under wraps to give us a big shock value. But after last episode, I was like, I don't think he's going to show. Like, they really got me with that one. Because honestly, I would have believed it either way that it would have gone. If he didn't show, again, like there was an argument for him feeling rushed, him being too young, him not really being into it. But then also it made sense that he would show because he wants a better life, right? He wants to be able to go further in life. He wants to be able to help out his family. Whether he's really in love with Charlotte, for me, that's always been debatable. But yeah, I was stunned to see him pull up, suited up. But yeah, when they got married, did you guys notice that the mom didn't even address Johan? She just went straight to Charlotte and like kind of like bypassed him. The tension is felt, okay? And we do continue to feel that tension the next day where Charlotte wants her mom and Johan to have a one-on-one to basically clear out that tension because they're going to be dealing with each other in England. And while that would be ideal for them to get along, if someone is determined not to like you, there is nothing you can do. And Johan is coming into this, realizing that he's not being liked, but he's apologetic. And he's like, I don't want you to think that being late was okay. And so she asks him again, and he tells her again that they were having tire issues, and that is why he was late. And she's like, I don't believe him. I think that he had cold feet. And again, I do think that he had cold feet the day before, but the day of the wedding, I think it was an awful coincidence that he was late because of his car. But again, because he was with his grandma, I want to believe that it wasn't intentional. And so she then addresses again him being late and him switching plans last minute. She's like, I don't like that. And in England, when you tell someone that you're going to be there at this time, like they expect at this time. And I agree, people should be punctual. However, I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it's okay, but you are in a different country currently, ma'am. And sure, he has to adapt to England, but your daughter picked out a Dominican guy and is getting married in the Dominican Republic. The way of life is different. There's a different pace. There's energy is a bit more lax in the Caribbean, even in official offices. I'm of Dominican descent. However, I was born in New York, and I have a lot of spoiled American qualities. So when I went to the Dominican Republic to visit my family and got sick, and I had to go through the medical system, and everything was just, oh, you go here, and then you go here, and then you go here. I wanted to pull my hair out. However, I'm not going to tell them that they have to be on my American time because that's not where I'm at. So I get telling him, hey, that's not going to really work out in America. But I feel like this is a moment where you have to kind of just let it go, Elsa. Just let it go. It already happened. Your daughter is married. She appears happy. You just have to pick your battles, But ultimately, she's like, listen, I just need to know that you're going to treat my daughter like a queen. And he's like, yeah, I will. And I'm like, we'll see. We'll see about that. And so we see one last check-in with Johan and Charlotte before she goes to England. The turnaround for her to go back home is so fast. But she's here reminding him of the terms of their union, okay? She's like, yep, so I really can't wait for you to go back to England so we can begin our family because it's really important for our family, our little bambino. And he's like, uh-huh. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, now that we're married, who's boss? And he's like, yeah, in England, ladies are boss. And she's like, and if it was like Angela saying this, I'd be like, stop it. But it seems like funny banter between them, so I'll take that for what it is. But yeah, it's time for her to fly back to England, and she's like, I need this visa to kick in like yesterday. I need my husband with me. And I feel for her. Long distance relationships are literally, I don't think I could ever do one again unless it's with like a rich person that can just constantly fly me out. Because being poor and being in a long distance relationship is not it. Or like living above your means, like trying to fly to see your man every 6 weeks. That's a lot. I'm watching this and I'm like, I hope the visa gets approved and I hope you guys get your happy ending. But the next check-in that we see with her is with her girl Maria. As you guys know, Maria does not like Johan. She's not happy about this union, but She's chugging along for her friend. And the producers set it up perfectly where Maria is like, so how did the wedding go? Did everything go as planned? No, Maria, it did not. Charlotte tells her, she's like, no, he was late. And Maria immediately is like, that's a red flag. If someone was late to my wedding, that's a red flag. And I agree. Like, I think I'd rather get somewhere an hour early before I'm late. So I get it. Like, no one wants to be kept waiting. But I think that there were a lot of factors at play. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt in this moment, right? And while Maria shares her piece, Charlotte is like, I know you and everyone else has a lot to say, but he's my husband now. And that was such a nice way of saying, F off. Cut it out. I don't want to hear it. We're here now. He's going to move here and y'all will deal. So the final scene that we see of Charlotte is back in her home abode. And I don't know, it looks like she was doing something in the kitchen and the producers are breaking the fourth wall. We get to see them, camera crew and everything. And you can tell that she senses something because she's like, what's wrong? And they're like, can you have a seat? We have something bad to tell you. We've gotten reached out by someone that has been in a relationship with Johan while you have been together.
We know that it's the truth. We've seen evidence with dates, we've seen evidence with photographs, and we've seen evidence with texts.
The fact that they mentioned that they have seen evidence lets me know that they were thorough before they broke this news to her. I told you guys that it's not my favorite generalization, but Dominicans are very charming, and a lot of them, especially at 21, are little players. And a lot of older ones that don't grow out of that have secret families. I didn't expect that to be the shocker in their show, but I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? And so we see a scene of Charlotte confronting him on the phone. And she's like, you're a liar. You're a liar. And the way she's coming at him, I'm like, oh, the producers might not be showing us the evidence, but they showed her the evidence. Because she is like enraged, and rightfully so.
There's messages. There's pictures of you with a woman. You have a girlfriend. Yes, you do, you lying prick.
And I'm like, who is this woman? I would love to know. Probably they're not going to show us that. It would be a violation. But I would love to know who she is. Is she a foreigner? Is she someone from his town? Like, did she meet Charlotte? Like, I have so many questions. Charlotte is distraught because she just married him. She should be in newlywed bliss. And here she is, like, lamenting the past 2 years that she's had with him, lamenting the future that she wanted with him. She went against everybody. She went against her insecurities. She went against her family, her friends, and he had her out here looking stupid. Of course, the first person that we see her tell this news is Maria. And, you know, Maria's a good friend because she didn't pull an I told you so. She was like, just when I was trying to like him, huh? Wow. And like just consoles Charlotte, and Charlotte just like breaks down. Maria's like, what did he say? Charlotte says that he was denying everything and that he was saying that the proof is wrong. And my thing is, I can give you the benefit of the doubt that text can be misconstrued, but not pictures, plural. Like, sir, save for the continued disrespect and just be honest. But no, he's not. And of course he's not. You guys, this union was doomed, of course, but it doesn't change the fact that, like, Charlotte, I think, is a good person, and she was taken advantage of, and all she wants is love, and we all want love, and, like, sometimes people go to desperate measures for love, but that doesn't mean that she deserved this, and she was ready to, like, build a world around this young man, but that's the problem. He's a very, very young man. This is a long-distance relationship. And she was more invested than he was. And the receipts are coming out. The list of red flags goes on, but she did not deserve this. And I think what's most admirable is that she got the news, she confronted him, and she didn't let him lie to her. She didn't let him manipulate her into staying just because she's married. She was like, no, I've gotten my confirmation. I was true to you. You weren't true to me. It's done. It takes a lot of courage to be about that action when you're in a lot of pain. But yeah, if you take anything away from that is, wow, she's badass, okay? With Maria, she has a little bonfire and she burns her wedding dress. She burns all her memories with him and just sobs. And I think that is the start of her healing. But she's definitely in the sadness part of her grief journey. Next week, we see her enter anger. Whoa, because when you start looking for things, you begin to find things. And apparently she's finding other girls coming out of the woodworks. He cheated on her with multiple people. And she's telling her mom, and you just know it's gonna be amped up. So from the teaser clip, it looks like she's finally gonna understand what a Sanky Panky is. Sanky Panky is a term in DR for men that purposely go after foreign women. It's not something to be proud of. If someone ever calls you a Sanky Panky, that is not a compliment. But yeah, so I think she's gonna learn a little more about that, and I will be tuned in. I would love to know what you guys thought about this episode. The whiplash, did you expect them to show up? Were you surprised? What did you think about that reveal? Let me know. I will be reading it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.